Oh, okay. Yep. Good Sunday afternoon to everyone. Thanks for joining us for this digital version of Watch Fox News. I'm Brian McConkey. Of course, you've noticed that the snow stopped falling several hours ago, but if you haven't been on the roads just yet, not all of them are perfect. We'll just put it that way. Some not so bad, but those secondary roads, that picture there is what is very common. The Highway Patrol has been seeing too much of this. Dozens of accidents throughout the Midlands, the upstate, the PD. We've seen the posts showing these conditions, and that's why they are still asking everyone to stay inside and stay off the roads unless you absolutely have to. Everything melting away. Temperatures, though, they're going to drop in a hurry when the sun goes down later today. So we're going to go over to meteorologist Will Rowe, who can tell us about just how low things are going to go, and he's going to take a look at the traffic situation as well.
Yeah, Brian, I wanted to start off with traffic. To your point, there is still a couple of issues on the back roads and secondary roads, but as far as the main roads are concerned, all the interstates and the main highways are flowing pretty smoothly this afternoon, so no issues to report there. But there is a lot of slush, and all of it is starting to melt on the roadways. So as we push into this evening, if we can switch over to the weather graphics here, we switch over to this evening, the snow that is still on the ground, I want to show you that right here. So here's what it looked like earlier. All this white that you're seeing on the map is the snow that was reflected by the satellite. So we're actually seeing this from space. And you notice throughout the day, it kind of does start to melt away a little bit as temperatures do climb right around or at freezing. But yeah, that slushy snow is going to freeze tonight as temperatures do fall back into the low teens, and some even to the northern Midlands with a lot more snow could even dip back into the single digits. So that is definitely a possibility as we head into tonight. But here's the snow totals that we have compiled from from this event, and some of these are outdated. Some of them did come in around 4 or 5 o'clock yesterday, and it still snowed through about 2 to 3 a.m. last night. So some of these are outdated, but some of the newer ones around 6 inches towards Blythewood, about 4 inches here in downtown Columbia, with from one report about 2 inches down in Aiken, 3.5 almost in Newberry, about 4.5 up in Winsboro, but I suspect that might be a little bit higher. So generally the forecast did verify. We did see a good bit of snow. We saw about 5 to 6 inches here on the northeast side of Columbia, up to 8 inches further north that you go. So we did see a pretty healthy dose of snow here across South Carolina, but right now we're climbing around freezing towards the PD and low country, also here across the Midlands, even towards the upstate at 35 degrees in Greenville, 33 in Charlotte, where they got a foot of snow yesterday. Charlotte got a foot of snow, their biggest snowstorm in over 20 years. But like I said, that snow is going to continue to melt through this afternoon, but as it does melt, it is creating puddles on the roadways, so that is likely to refreeze tonight. Cold weather advisory is in place for the cold temperatures, but thanks to the wind starting to relax into tonight, the wind chill really isn't going to be the issue. It's going to be the actual air temperatures. Forecast for Columbia tonight, 11 degrees for tonight in Columbia. The record low is 14. I think some of us could actually fall back below that record low, but it's a matter of if it happens in downtown Columbia. So that's something that remains to be seen, but it certainly is a possibility, and it's like 24 degrees below the average low. So it is very, very cold out there for tonight. Even if you don't hit the record low, it is still going to be very cold. But poor travel conditions are expected tonight and into Monday morning, as all of that stuff is likely to refreeze on the roadways. So if you have anywhere to go tomorrow morning, most schools and probably some of your guys' work is canceled for tomorrow. But if you still have to go out there, just use extra caution out there, because there will be some slick spots on the roadways. By Monday afternoon and Monday night, I think we climb into the 40s. So a lot of that should start to melt away and start to dry up as the sunshine continues to beat down. But into Monday night, we could see another round of some patchy black ice, but it definitely won't be quite as cold as we head into Monday night. So tomorrow afternoon, we climb into the lower 40s. Plenty of sunshine out there, should be effective at melting away any of the remaining snow that is left over for tomorrow. A couple of breezes, since it's so cold, will make wind chills feel like it's in the mid to upper 30s, but certainly nothing like what we have been seeing here the past few days. So we climb into the 40s tomorrow, eventually to the 50s as we push towards the middle of the week. We will see some rain showers as we head into Wednesday. No big deal, just a couple of nuisance showers. Those could linger into Thursday. Another round of some cold air moves in, drops us back into the 40s briefly, but take a look at next week. We are tracking 60s potentially returning to the Midlands with plenty of sunshine.
All right, thank you, Will, of course, for the very latest on all things weather. Download the SkyWatch weather app, round the clock information that you can get there. And of course, we have the real deal, Will, right here. Now, we also have team coverage of this second straight weekend of winter weather. We're going to begin in Lexington County. That's where our Brawley's Pimentel's been camped out the last couple of days. You talked to first responders there. What's the situation?
Yeah, Brian, well, I'm just going to give you a look right now. I mean, last night, the road was completely covered in ice, in snow. And now it's completely almost clear, but officials do say that there's two big words to explain how conditions were last night, and that's impact and fortunate. They say with the amount of snowfall that we received last night, it wasn't that bad. There were a few accidents and a few incidents with the snowy conditions, but they do want people to still remain cautious. Snow and ice melting on cars this afternoon. Roads are icy, creating slush as cars continue to travel through it. According to Lexington County officials, 8 roads had to close last night due to the icy conditions. They say although snow appears to be melting, people shouldn't get behind the wheel.
Unless that travel is crucial or absolutely necessary, we really are encouraging people to stay home because the road conditions still are very, very treacherous in some locations that are under the shade of trees. And then the slush is still there, that snowfall is still there. Some roads haven't seen a lot of travel at all, so they look pristine. They look very smooth and white from all that snowfall. So it's just so different around different roads and different locations. The best place for people, we feel like, is just to stay home unless they absolutely have to travel.
Captain Captain Adam Myrick is reminding people if you do have to get out and travel to allow a safe distance from you and the other car. Live in Lexington County, I'm Bralise Pimentel, Watch Fox News, Local First.
All right, thank you, Bralise. Get back inside now. We continue our team coverage in downtown Columbia. A lot of the main roads, they're clearing up, but that doesn't mean this is over by any means. Our Mike White been tracking the downtown area the last couple of days. What's the latest in the capital city?
Yeah, Brian, following last night's around 3 inches or so here in the downtown area. Most of it has started to melt so far with the sun now being up, and earlier this morning I spoke to City of Columbia Mayor Daniel Rickenman, who gave me the newest updates when it comes to the City of Columbia following last night's weather. Now, Mayor Rickenman said the City of Columbia reported 37 accidents last night, mostly before 9:30. He says water and sewer also saw about 5 emergency shutoffs with frozen pipes bursting and leaks. Right now in the downtown area, the roads are pretty clear as the snow is starting to melt, and most of it has turned into slush. But Rickenman says many roads are very damp, which is a concern with the temperatures dropping tonight, well below freezing, and ice forming on the roads.
We patrolled last night. I was out about 11:30. Absolutely gorgeous looking across the city, but very soft snow. So I think that really helped. But tonight, the temperature dropping, major intersections and shiny, clear spots that look like water, maybe ice. So we just encourage people to be really careful as they're driving in some of these areas.
When it comes to the city returning to its normal schedule, Rickenman says he expects it to be fully back to normal by tomorrow afternoon. Reporting in Columbia, Mike White, Watch Fox News, Local First.
And take a look at this. This is an apartment complex overnight. Frightening scene. Flames just tearing through that complex. These are the Bent Tree apartments in the Columbia area. This afternoon now we're learning some new details about what happened and just how many people were affected by that and what authorities are saying what could have happened there. Our Megan Gagno live at Bent Tree Apartments. You talked to the fire chief. What's the latest out there?
Brian, it isn't clear at this time what started the fire at Bent Tree, but as you can see around me, the damage is extensive. I'm going to step out of the way just so you could have a better idea. As you can see, there's no roof, everything's completely charred, and the area still smells like smoke. The Richland County Fire Marshal is investigating right now, and Fire Chief Aubrey Jenkins tells me it started around 1 this morning, and he says 24 people were forced to leave their homes to safely evacuate the homes. I actually got to go into one of the units before. A resident was clearing out, trying to get rid of, or not get rid of, but protect some of the stuff that wasn't damaged, and he let me go into his room, and the whole entire wall was just completely gone. This is unit 1016, all the way down to the left here. Everything's completely damaged. We got this video from the scene showing just how intense the flames were overnight. Dozens of people once again escaping the flames and standing out here in the cold. The good news is no injuries have been reported. Some residents did mention that Red Cross was not able to get here last night just because of some of the road conditions and snow, but they were eventually able to help some people out there. We have some people also staying with friends or family, but this is what Aubrey Jenkins had to say.
Some of went with some friends, some of went with family, but Red Cross is assisting them, the ones that need any kind of assistance.
Now, I spoke with one mother who was able to escape with her son last night. She tells me she is grateful for their lives, but she's still trying to process everything that happened to them. I'll share her story coming up at 6, and any details officials are able to provide with their investigation here. In Columbia, I'm Megan Gagno, Watch Fox News, Local First.
Thank you, Megan. Tough looking scene out there for sure. Of course, we'll continue to follow that story for the latest developments and everything we cover for each and every day here at Watch Fox News. You can get real-time alerts sent right to your phone. All you have to do is download the Watch Fox News app. You scan that QR code on your screen right now, and that'll get it to you. You can always count on the website round the clock at WACH.com. On our website, we also have a constantly updated list of school closings, e-learning announcements. Here are some of the schools that have switched over to e-learning for tomorrow. Richland 1 and 2, Kershaw County Schools, Lexington Richland 5, Lexington 4, and Sumter Schools. They're all on e-learning. Tomorrow, closings. Fairfield County Schools, Lexington 1, Lexington 2, and Newberry County. They're going to be closed Monday and Tuesday. And now, as everything is melting, of course, we're going to have temperatures that are going to drop significantly, and that, of course, will lead to another significant freeze. So a message today from Dominion Energy. The utility is urging people to conserve energy. That's because heating systems are working extra hard to keep everything warm. So here are some of the tips that they are offering right now. Adjust your thermostat to 68 degrees, turn off non-essential lights and any appliances, and allow adequate airflow through HVAC systems. And you can also, they say, enroll in Dominion Energy's Reward Hours program. And if you need backup power for medical reasons, the South Carolina Department of Public Health opening a triage line. That is the best way for you to call and get access to medical equipment, a medical equipment power shelter. Keep in mind, people in those shelters should bring a responsible adult to care for them, because state health officials will not be providing health care services in those shelters. Again, this is just a power shelter, so you can have access to that. You cannot bring non-service animals or pets. And also, due to the storm, the Department of Public Health giving the green light on early refills for specific prescriptions. It's a one-time move for refills that are due through Thursday. State officials say they're doing this as a precaution because of the potential for services being disrupted. They don't want those who need prescriptions not to have their medication during this situation. And again, to stay warm, here is a list of warming shelters for you. In Richland County, Transitions Homeless Shelter. In Lexington County, there's the Batesburg-Leesville Senior Center that is available. That was also open last week. In Newberry County, if you need help there. Gallman Elementary, for the second straight week, being used as a shelter. They'll close at 11 tonight, though. That school's on 255 Hawkins Road out in Newberry. And O'Neill United Methodist Church will also be open as a shelter again today. That's at 501 O'Neill Street. They will remain open. Orangeburg County, the city turning the gym on Broughton Street into a heating shelter. They'll be open through Monday, 7 at night until 8 in the morning for anyone who maybe has lost power or just need a warm place to stay. Service animals are welcome there. And in Sumter, the main emergency shelter and winter weather shelter. You see where those are. The main shelter, South Artillery Drive, winter weather shelter on Pine Street. Transportation between the shelters also being coordinated there with the Santee Wateree Regional Transit Authority.
Well, once again, it is going to be critical to stay warm tonight. A cold weather advisory is in place for the chilly temperatures that we have coming in, and they could possibly set records here. The record in Columbia is 14 degrees. We are forecasting a low of 11. Now, it's a matter of if it actually hits 11 at the airport as to what the actual air temperature is, but I think some spots, especially outside of the city and the rural areas, could definitely dip down to near 10 or 11 degrees. So we're going 11 here in Columbia, Camden, Lexington, 10 up in Winsboro and Newberry tonight, 13 down in Orangeburg, 15 in Aiken, and 14 over in Manning. The good news is the wind will start to calm down, so it's really just the actual air temperature that we are dealing with tonight. But with those extremely cold temperatures well below freezing, anything that is wet on the roadways is likely to freeze once again tonight, and that lingers into tomorrow morning. So poor travel conditions are expected as we head into tonight and into tomorrow morning. Once again, tomorrow afternoon, temperatures climb back into the 40s, so it should be effective at melting the snow, and with all the sunshine that we are expected to see, that should also help evaporate some of that moisture on the ground. So we got a weather-worn day for the chilly temperatures early on. Here's another look at your 10-day forecast. Once again, a brief warm-up with some showers by midweek. Another little teeny tiny cool down on Thursday back into the middle 40s. Then we're smooth sailing from there. Plenty of sunshine into next weekend. And take a look at next week. We could see temperatures back near 60 degrees.
All right, thank you, Will. Again, If you don't have the Skywatch weather app, no time like the present to do it. For the latest conditions during situations like this or anytime, just download the Skywatch weather app. And we've been getting some pictures submitted by all of you that have been watching, anything from your pets, children playing in the snow. You can submit that online on WACH.com. Just look for the Chime In section on the website, and that is where you can show us all these pictures, and we'll post them online and show them here on air. We will be back a little later at 6 p.m., another digital version, and of course tonight on air on the news at 10. Enjoy these images from all this rare heavy snowfall that we got.